Hi everyone, it's Darla. Welcome to another tutorial. The two tops you saw in the thumbnail are the exact same design. You can either wear it on the shoulder or wear it off the shoulder. Alright, so the one Peggy was wearing was made with Caron cotton cakes, and the colorway was elderberry rose, and these are a medium 4 weight. You can use any size weight yarn you want, anywhere from a 1 to probably a bulky 5, whatever you decide. So this one's a medium 4, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, 250 grams in this cake, 530 yards. I pretty much used it all. I think I had a tiny bit left, and now I can't find where I put it. It's so small I can't find it, I guess. So that's what I used to make the one Peggy was wearing. Suggested hook size is actually 5mm, but I used a 6. I just wanted it a little bit looser, you know, the stitch open a little bit more. That's why I did that. Alright, so let's talk about the yarn that I used in the actual tutorial. The yarn I used in the actual tutorial in the top that I was wearing, which I said was the same design as what Peggy was wearing, is the Caron Cotton Lava Cakes. And the colorway I used is Icing. And this is a medium 4, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. This ball had 227 grams, 481 yards, and they actually say these are machine washable and dryable. It said on both of these, so I have not washed them yet, so I don't know how it would turn out. All right, so I used almost all of this, 227 grams, 481 yards. So this is what I had left of the shade of blue, and then the multi-shade that was in there, multi-colors. This is what I had left. That's it. Now I'm holding the end nice and neat with a hair clip. Okay, for this tutorial you will need, of course, hooks, crochet hooks. I used a 6mm, and for the very bottom, the last 7 rows, I went up to a 6.5, and it doesn't make a lot of difference, but it does make a little bit of a difference where it's more loose, little tiny bit loose around the bottom. You could go up, you could go, yeah, up to like a 7 if you like. Yeah, so that's the hook sizes. You will need, of course, a darning needle to sew in your end scissors to cut off your yarn, at least 4 stitch markers, and the other item I have here that you'll need is just a scrap piece of yarn, about maybe a foot and a half long, something like that. It's going to be used as a measuring device for the underarms. Alright, so this is size adjustable. I do give you the multiples so you can fit it to yourself. And it starts at the top. We work our way down in one piece in the round. So I hope you enjoy. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a chain, and we're going to connect it into a circle. And the chain needs to fit around the tops of your arms, all the way around your back and back over here. And it's going to be in multiples of 4. Now we're going to make a chain that's in multiples of 4. That means it needs to be divisible by 4. Now in order for your chain not to be twisted, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to chain about 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to pull up that loop. I'm going to put my hook in that first chain I made. that last loop that I pulled off my hook, and I'm going to continue crocheting. So that was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I don't have to fiddle with my chain when I want to make it into a circle. It'll already be straight. All right, so make your multiple of 4 chain. Now when you've completed your chain, you're just going to grab your yarn and just pull it through both of the ends there, right through. And then what we're going to do is make a single crochet in that first stitch. First of all, we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to go right into that first stitch. Just move that over a little bit. And then we have our first stitch right here. So we'll make a single crochet in there, and we're going to make a single crochet in every chain until we get to the end of our chain. And whatever count you had for your chains, I had 100, so I will have 100 single crochets. So single crochets in every chain. Okay, now I've counted my single crochets to make sure they're the same number as my chain was, and which they are. And now I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet we did, not the chain 1, but the first single crochet right here. Okay, so for the first stitch, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go back into that same spot, and we're going to make 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Let me just move this a bit. All right, so 2 double crochets in the same spot. Chain 2 and 2 more double crochets in that same spot. Now I also tried this on to make sure it's going to fit nicely around my shoulders, and it does. Okay, so 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in that same spot. And then you're going to skip 3 stitches. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go in the next one and make the same thing. This is our repeat for around this row. 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the same spot, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and do the same thing. 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Okay, and that's what it's going to look like. When you get to the end of that first row of shells, you're going to have 3 stitches left. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Just skip right over those. Slip stitch into your shell stitch that you made at the very beginning there. Slip stitch into it. Slip stitch right into the center of it. Chain 1. And then make shells again. So go right in the middle of that shell, make 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And that's what you're going to do for this round. And pretty much every round after until you get to the underarms. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so in every shell, put a shell all the way around. Now, I just wanted to show you the first one I made. Oops. Oh, so sorry. Bumped my camera. All right. So let me just show you the top of it here. Now this is the underarm here. So for my shoulder, if you're using the same size yarn, like you can use any size yarn to make this, but I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, and this goes on my shoulder. Let me move this back. Okay, that goes around my shoulder. Let me grab my ruler and just take a quick measurement. Mine is almost, yeah, about 5 inches. This part here is actually not a row. I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, so not counting that would be about close to 5 inches, I would say. But of course you make yours the way you want to make it, right? It's your creativity that's in action. Okay, so just continue making those same shell stitches in every shell around and make it the number of rows that you want to make. And then I'll meet you there and I'll show you how to do the underarm. All right, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Now yours, you may not have as many rows as me. You may want your shoulder piece to be more narrow. You may have used 1 weight yarn or 2 weight, so you may have more rows. But this is just what I have with this 4 weight yarn. So I'm just gonna finish off this last row here. So I'm gonna slip stitch right into the center of my fan. Okay, and I'll chain 1. I'll put a stitch marker just so that it doesn't come out. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you how to fit it to yourself. Okay, so put it on like this. And we're going to turn it, this is our working yarn, we're going to turn it so that it's over here, because we're going to work over here and we don't want it in our way. So remember that piece of scrap yarn? What we're going to do is right near where we want our underarm to be, we're just going to tie this piece of yarn right into one of the shell stitches, right into it. Okay, just tie it on there. Okay, now we're going to turn that so that it's at the back. Okay, see, that's why we wanted our working yarn to be far away, because we're turning the top and we don't want that in our way. So put that near the back of where your armhole is going to be, and then go into a fan at the front. Now put your arm down like normal. So I think this will be a good spot. Now you don't want to, we're going to make a chain under here, and you don't want that chain to be too loose because it will stretch with the weight of the top. So, you know, just put it loosely there. Not too loose, but fairly loose. Oh, that's way too loose. But you know what I mean, right? Even if you have it a little bit loose, you can still just make your chain a little looser than you have this. Or a little tighter, I should have said. A little tighter. Okay. Let me look at it where it is. Okay. All right, now that's under my arm, and just you can adjust it. Oh, did I shave my armpits? I'm sorry if I didn't. Oh dear. Okay. So you could tie it again to make it tighter, I guess. This is the awkward part, but once we're past this, it'll be a breeze, so don't leave me now. Okay, so that's good right there. Okay, so now, okay, it moved up a bit, but still, okay. When I do, okay, we have to position it right where we want it to be. So this is going to be a little low. So I'm going to make my chain a little shorter. Yeah, I will make it a little shorter, but at least that gives us a guide, right? Okay, let's get back to crocheting. Okay, now we're going to put shells in our shells. Okay, so that was, as a reminder, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, okay, so put a shell into the next one and put a shell into the one where you have your yarn tied on as well. All right, to have a shell in the shell where my yarn is, my scrap yarn, so I'm just going to, cut off this long end just to get it out of our way. Okay, so now what you want to do is make your underarm chain, and it has to be in multiples of 4. Just like the rest of your top was. So I know because I've made one of these already that I need a chain of 20. I actually made a chain of 24 and I tried it on. That's important to try it on, and it hung too low. So I redid it and I did a chain of 20. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. And I'll try it on again just to make sure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. Now we're going to be doing a fan into the next fan where our scrap yarn is attached to. So you can use this yarn as a guide to see if it's going to be the right length. All right, so let's put a fan stitch. Okay, so there's the chain that's going to go under our arm, and we'll be working into that chain. So I'm going to try this on right now to make sure it's good. Actually, that's exactly right, but I'm going to try it on anyway. All right, I pulled it over my head. Now I'm going to stick my arm through not the scrap yarn, but the actual chain that we made. Let's see how that looks. Okay, get right in the right position. Okay, so I'm glad I tried it on because I am going to make this chain shorter. I am going to make it shorter. See, it seemed like the right length, but now it's really hanging down when you get it attached. So I'm going to go down to 16 stitches, multiple of 4. All right. The other one seemed to work. Maybe I crochet tighter and put the other top. Okay, I'm going to go down to, what did I say? 16. 16 chains. Now I removed that chain and redid it at 16, chain 16, and then I put a shell into the shell where the other end of my scrap yarn is connected. Okay, now we're going to mark the other arm. We could have done that already, but I'm going to do it now. All right, so I have connected my armhole. I mean, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 fans. So I'm just going to even those up. Then I'm going to go over here and mark them. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that they'll be even on either side. Or as close to even as possible. If you don't have this even number of shells where your armholes would even out, don't worry about it. My other top didn't either, and it worked out fine. Okay. All right, so now we're going to continue crocheting, putting our shells in the shells all the way till we get to this stitch marker. We'll put a shell in there. We'll do our chain, and then we'll connect our chain to here with a shell stitch in the next stitch marker place. Okay, leave your stitch markers in because I think we're going to need them again. All right, then you go around, close off your row, and that's where I'll meet you, okay? All right, now I removed that scrap yarn that I have, and I put stitch markers in where it was, okay? Because we'll probably need those stitch markers later. All right, so I put my shell in the shell, and now we have our chain. So what we're going to do is skip 3, starting right here. 1, 2, 3. Go in the 4th one with our shell. And then we're going to skip 3 again. 1, 2, 3, go in the next one with the shell. Continue doing that along this chain. When you get to the end of the chain, you're going to have 3 left. Skip over those, go into your shell, the next shell with the shell. Okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, we're going to skip, then we're going to do a shell, and then 1, 2, 3, skip those, and then make a shell. In your shells, go all the way around, do the same thing with the other chain, and then I'll meet you after that. Alright, so we've put our shells in that chain. You may notice this is a different color yarn now. I changed color for this row. That's what I did. Went back and frogged it and changed color. Okay, now what we're going to do is just do row after row of these shells until you have your top the length that you want. Let me just slip stitch in that first double crochet, second double crochet, and then in the middle of that chain 1. Then we're just going to do our shell again. But I wanted to mention to you that we're getting near the girl area, so if you want to go up a hook size to give a little more room for the girls, you can go ahead and do that. Sometimes I do that. I'm thinking I might not this time, but I may go up a hook size when I get close to the bottom to give the bottom you know, a little looser fit around the hip area. So you can do that if you want to. So I'm just going to continue making this top the length I want, and then I'll come back and show you what to do around the armholes. Now we're going to tidy up the armhole and cinch it in just a little bit, and I'll show you that. So this is the armhole here. You should still have your stitch markers from when you had marked where your armhole chain was going to go. All right, now we're going to make some single crochets around the underside of the armhole. So I'm going to start, there's my stitch markers, I'm going to start somewhere in the middle. This is where our chain was. There is. All right, so I'm just going to do some single crochets. Right in here, I'm going to put one single crochet. And in that chain between our fans, we had chain 3, so I'm going to put 3 single crochets in that chain. I'm going to just try to space them out as best as you can. I'm going right into the chain rather than around it. Okay, just put one single crochet there. And 3 into that chain. Like I said, just space them out as best as you can. This is a wonky one because it's sideways one here. Okay. Now we're at near the stitch marker, so we're going to place what we want to do is place 3 single crochets together. Like, okay, so what you do is you just find a space to go into. Let me just see. And start a single crochet, find another space to go into, start a single crochet, and then we're going to go into and find another space to go into, start a single crochet, okay, start a single crochet and then pull through all, should be 4 loops, pull through all 4 loops. And then what we're going to do is, we're actually inside a fan here, so we're just going to jump to the next fan and make a fan in it. Okay, so 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So this is going to be the at the top of your arm, like that. Like if you have it up on your shoulder, this will be like a shoulder edging. That's what that's going to be. Okay, so make fans inside these fans. And just keep, okay, we only have 2 left here. Just put fans inside the fans. I only have 2. Yours probably might be different, depending on the size that you made of your top. Alright, so I have 1 more fan. I'm gonna put a fan in that fan. Okay, now I have a fan in the fan. Now we're getting close to that other stitch marker. So let's see. Let's see. All right. So I'm just gonna put the 3 single crochets together. Like, it's kind of you know, you need to use your own discretion where exactly you're going to put them. I mean, as long as you hook them together somewhere. This is going to pull your armholes in a little bit. All right, then we're going to jump over. No, we're not. We're going to do some more single crochets till we meet up with our first single crochet we did here. Okay, just space them out as good as you can. So this is chain 3. We're going to try and put 3 in there. If you can, have the same number on each arm. Put 1 in there. Three in here. And then what you're going to do after this row is you're just going to go around, put in a single crochet in each single crochet and a fan in each fan. Okay. slip stitch into the first single crochet you made there, chain 1, and then just make single crochets in each single crochet all the way around, and then a fan in each fan, and then slip stitch when you get back to your first single crochet. Okay, just continue doing that. Alright, I've made my last fan, and I just want to show you, you don't want to go into these stitches that's a part of your fan from the previous row. You're going to want to jump over and put stitches in. This is your single crochet, so you're going to want to jump right over there and put a single crochet in there, and then single crochets in the rest of those single crochets you made in the previous row. Until you get up to that first one you made in this row and just slip stitch into it. Okay. And then you'll be done your armholes. Okay, here's your first single crochet. Slip stitch, chain 1, and then just cut your yarn and sew it in now or later. And the next thing we're going to do is just going to do a single crochet around the neckline. So that's the next step. Okay, here we are at the neckline. So I'm just going to put a single crochet. What I'm going to do is put single crochets all the way around is what I mean. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go right over top of it, so I don't have to sew it in later. Okay, so just put your hook in that chain up there. Go through chain 1, then put a single crochet right back in there. I'm going to grab my tail from back there, and I'm just going to go right over top of it. My other tail, I'll do that in the next one. So single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet. Lay those, if you're doing it this way, lay those ends on top of your hook, because we just want to go around them. And do single crochets all the way around, just to tidy up that edge. If you had worked into your back loop of your starting chain, you may not have to do this. You'll probably have a nice edge already. Or you may want to add an extra row of single crochets. Alright, so this is what mine's going to look like. I don't really mind that. I think it makes a unique look to the top. It adds, like, it's like, oh, is that another stitch? Alright, so I'll meet you at the end of this row. Now we're at the end of our single crochet row, so we just slip stitch into that first single crochet, chain 1, pull some yarn up, cut it, and then we're just gonna weave it in, and then guess what? We're done. Unless you want to put an edging, some kind of different edging on the bottom of your top, I think it looks great the way it is though, but it's up to you. I mean, it's your creativity at work, right? So there we go, the end is sewn in, cut it off. And there we go. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching this tutorial and making it. It's so fast and easy. And I'm just trying to straighten it all out. Got some stitch markers to remove. I have a few more ends to sew in. Usually I wait to the end to do those. Yeah. But anyway, thank you. Please subscribe if you like the content on this channel. And please share. I would love for you to share on your social media. Share my tutorials or yarn content. That would mean so much to me. And you're just being here. Oh, that means so much to me. Thank you so much. And I look forward to reading your comments. I wish I could say thank you to each and every one of them. But unfortunately, I can't. All right, thank you so much and enjoy your new wearable.